People, how are you doing? What is going on out there, huh? Today's the day. This is it. This is what is it? It is November 17th, and I am making the last video I'm going to make for, at least a handful of days anyway. It probably won't be all that long. I'm not trying to be over dramatic, but it's gonna be a bit, right? Because the whole moving thing. You gotta put a bunch of shoes up. Maybe you saw that picture of that wall of shoes I have over there. Gotta get an inventory thing done for insurance reasons and such. Yeah, so got a handful of other things, but like I said before, I want to get a couple videos together, then I'll just kind of put them out through the week once, because I'll do all the editing today, which is going to take forever, somewhere between forever and an eternity. But I'm going to do that so they're at least all ready to go, and then all I have to do is just click publish later. So what we're doing here today, you saw the title, description thing and all that stuff. A little bit of a Yeezy comparison, right? Because let's face it, sometimes you look at something and you think, that looks like something else. You don't always know just how similar something is until you actually look at that something else in addition to the original something, right? So that's what we're going to do. This right here, give you that little close-up for you. So this is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in the Citrin colorway, right? And if you saw the review that I did, if you didn't, that's fine. It's still around. You can go watch it if you'd like. If you don't want to, that's fine. You'll get enough information out of this to cover it. But if you look at these, right, and if you saw that video, there's a lot of coloring going on in here. I don't know how well it's all showing up, but I made some mentions to it in the video about how this looks like a handful of other things. Get you that bottom shot too, all around. So I've got a few Yeezys out here right now on the floor. Just going to kind of pull these out and go down the line. We'll start with the more recent ones first, right? So first up, right here, this guy. What is this? This is the Cloud White, right? Remember these? They came out like the day before these or 2 days before these. So these, not super similar, right? Other than the one thing that they do have in common, and which hadn't really happened on any of the other pairs, was, as I said before, this side and this side, if you look at it from the right angle and you get the right coloring, you can see a pretty distinct shift. Same with this one. It's in some ways going to be a little more visible on these. On the right side, on this side it looks a little darker. On the left side it looks a little lighter, right? So that's one thing that these both have in common. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, sure, they are very much the same shoe, but at least the shading is a lot more varied than it has been in the past. So that's kind of a plus. I mean, overall, it's still similar, but that's just the design of the shoe. So can't really fault them for that. I mean, what brand out there isn't making shoes that are very similar, right? It just comes down to when you start making salt versus white, and it's like, okay, now it's getting ridiculous. So here we have, what is this? This is the static. Yes, this is the static. What is that thing? Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is the static, right? So very much the same as over here. The thing is just that these, when you look at the statics, it's kind of a grayish, darkish gray and white. These kind of got like this faded, dingy-ish kind of color going on, especially when you look at the two side by side. Look at this one by itself, not so bad. But when you compare it to like the vibrance that's going on here, and the colors just popping, and also this has that 3M. So you look at the comparison there, and this one, to me, starts to look a little drab, I guess you could say. But otherwise, everything is pretty much the same, style-wise, minus, again, no pull tab over here, same as on the Cloud Whites. This does have it. And this has the 3M lacing, which kind of gives it an edge in my opinion. But the coloring, which is what we're talking about, it's also a bit different, right? So that's a nice plus, right? Because you don't want to feel like you're buying the same thing all the time. And then that's where that part ends. And then things start getting more similar. So this pair right here, this would be the Lundmark. Wow, like for a second there I was like, this is a different shoe, right? Because they look very similar. I mean, look at these. Like if you're looking, just glancing, let's say you were just getting dressed real fast and you had all your shoes out, it could be easy to make a mistake and grab one of each of these. I've never worn. No, actually, I don't think I've ever worn these because the tag's still on here. Yeah, that's right. Because I got these while I was on vacation, and then I didn't have my camera. I didn't have something to do the on-foot portion. Like I didn't have my tripod. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I've never worn these. Anyways, so this over here, the Lundmark, and this the Citrin. I mean, tell me how different they look to you, right? This one does have that greenish tint, but it's not always easy to see because of, the cameras. I don't have the greatest camera in the world, you know what I'm saying? But it's decent, right? And so I just look at these, and these are looking oh so similar now that I have them next to each other. I mean, again, the 3M laces gives these that, but otherwise, this, just like the standard ropey style laces, and the greenish tint that you can't always see, but these are very much the same shoe. That's crazy. Well, actually, you know what? It's not. That's why I'm doing this video. I knew what I was getting into. I don't even know why I said that. Moving on, we got the next one. This right here would be the Sesame. I haven't seen these in a while. When I pulled them out of the box, I honestly expected a different color. I don't know why, but I thought they were darker for some reason. Anyways, so one of the things that I had mentioned was that this, if you look closely, is somewhere on there, mostly on the bottom part of this side. Mostly on the bottom part of that side near where like the toes are and everything. That color that you see predominantly in this front area is very much the same as what you see all over this, because this shoe here, it's not trying to do too much. They picked a color and they're like, all right, that's the upper, period. And it's very much the same as the midsole. Only thing that changes the outsole because it's kind of a more gum bottom sort of thing going on. But this fabric here, or this shoe here, color-wise, and this one, the only thing that's really different is this one has some greenish hits thrown in there, whatever. So that's the only real difference. The laces are also lighter on this pair. Because again, this one, it's just a very flat shoe as far as colors go. Nothing's really popping over anything else. It's all just made to just kind of sit back and hang tight. Which is good sometimes. Sometimes that's all you want, But they are, and even though they are quite plain, those Sesames, I still like them a fair amount. I don't remember what the reception was like when they came out. Probably not amazing. And now we have the last one in the lineup. So this pair, which you probably don't see a whole lot of these, this is the Hyperspace, right? So this was an Asia exclusive out in the beginning of the year when they did the clays for North America and I can't remember, was it the True Forms? I forget what the Europe release was. But anyways, so these have, you can kind of see it if you get really close in there. See, they've got that green tint thing going on, right? Not quite the same as is that the box? Not quite the same as the semi-frozen yellows, which are somewhere else, so I'm not going to pull those out. But it is very close, tint-wise, to what's going on in the strip there. So if you look at that strip, and you look at this, yeah, it's pretty much the same, right? Even down to some of this coloring that's in the upper, not just the midsole. Because the midsole here, if you're looking at it, you can see towards the bottom it's a darker green, towards the top it's more of a kind of a milky white sort of color. And that's the same color that you'll see across all the upper. I did a review of these a while back whenever I got them, which I want to say March 16th comes to mind. For some reason that's standing out very clearly in my head. I might be wrong. If I am, tell me I'm wrong, but prove it. So yeah, so this here, this green that you're seeing on here, very much the same as these. So when people say that this shoe, the Citrin, is a mix of a whole lot of other Yeezys, they are very much correct. Because everything that I've pulled out here has been somewhat seen in here. I mean, you got the Sesame color, you got the Hyperspace color, you got a similar look to the Lundmark overall with the blandness, if you will. Because when you look and you compare these to the Statics, So again, static's pretty vibrant, right? It's for something that's just gray and black, or gray and white. And then this one looks like a slightly dingy version of that. Like I said before, like it's if you wash something too many times and it loses its color. And this one looks like maybe if you washed it with those semi-frozen yellows or those hyperspaces. And then he ended up with this little green tint to the things. So that's interesting anyway, that they pretty much put so much else into this. The only one that it doesn't have a whole lot in common with, like I said, is this, the cloud white. And they still do have a common characteristic, and that's just the split down the middle, where one side is seemingly, well, is quite lighter than the other. But that's really the only similarity between these two. Other than that, the coloring is pretty different. This is cloudish, right? It's got like the white and the bluish kind of color thing. And this is the opposite. These go here. So, past that, I don't have anything else to say. I do. If you were curious about the sizing, true to size, I go 9.5 on my other Adidas shoes, so I went 9.5 on these, and everything's just fine. So, past that, I don't think I have anything else to say. Do I? I'm gonna say I don't. So this concludes the last time I'm going to sit down here on this couch and make a video. I'm pretty sure. I'm very sure, given that movers are coming in the morning and then I'm moving out like in the afternoon or in the evening or something like that. So yeah, for those of you who have been with me for a while, I do appreciate it. Stay with me, please. I would like that just as much. And for those of you who are new, great. If you're just a casual viewer, that's cool too. I got some other videos. Go ahead and watch those if you'd like, or just keep doing that whole casual view thing. Either way, you made it here at least once, and that's good enough for me. So, I don't really have anything else to say, right? Well, I said that already, but then I talked more. Either way, so, you guys out there, and girls, of course, have a nice rest of your day, or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm going to clean this up, deal with that, do some editing. I got a lot of things to do between now and the morning, and I did like none of it today. So, you know, sometimes I play the responsible adult role pretty well, and then there's like days like today where I like watched wrestling and did mostly nothing. It happens, right? Happens to the best of us. All right, later people.